Hi, Maya. You guys can get started on the do now that's on the screen at the moment. The first question you should be able to do where they ask you to complete the frequency column. It's kind of hidden at the moment, but the frequency column, let me just move this over, is there. All right, so maybe you can make your own frequency column. And then we can start answering these questions. We'll just wait a little bit for other people to join us, and then we can get started. Hi, Liseko, welcome. Nice to have you back with us again. Let's see if you can get started on the do now. It's a question on statistics. And then we'll just wait another couple of minutes and see who else joins us this evening. And then we can get underway. Hi, Nosisa. Welcome back. Same story. Please get started on the do now. We're just waiting for a couple more minutes to see who else joins us, and then we can get underway with our lesson. This is a question on statistics. Hi, Nolwazi, welcome back. For a moment there, I was a little bit worried that it was just going to be 3 or 4 of us in the lesson. But I'm glad to see that there's more people that have joined us. Hi, Nolwazi, thanks for the message. Hi, Namusa. Welcome. We're going to be doing some work on paper 2 tonight. So there's a question on statistics on the do now. If you can get started on that, I'm going to wait 1 more minute and just see who else joins us. I hope you guys got your calculators and a pen and your book to write in. Okay, so grade 10s, I'm sorry to interrupt your thought processes, but we will go through this together. Okay, Nolwazi, you didn't do statistics this year at school. You only ended at analytical geometry. Okay, so Nolwazi, this section might be a little bit of a challenge for you, but there are some things here that you should know from grade 8 and grade 9, obviously depending with COVID, what you did and didn't do. Okay, so then maybe that means that they're leaving this out of your exam, Namusa, Nolwazi. It's generally not for very many marks in any event. I mean, you can see here it's only out of 14. And then the rest of what I've focused on tonight has been analytical geometry and trig, which are your sort of really big sections. Before we get started, and I don't want to forget to do this, has everybody written paper 1? If you can please put that into the chat. Have you written paper 1? Yes or no? Hi, Christian. Thank you, Harry. Have you written paper 1? Please put it into the chat, yes or no. Thanks, Kelebohile. Thanks, Lesejo. Jared says no. Okay, cool. Have you written paper 1? Okay, Nolwazi. Okay, so Christian, yes, today. Paper 1 next week, Nolwazi says. We're writing paper 2 tomorrow. Okay, Harry, thank you. Okay, so, obviously because all of you are at different schools and in different provinces, it's kind of difficult to, do one thing that suits everybody. So just sort of based on what we had spoken, hi, David, just based on what we had spoken about the last time, I figured that most people would have written paper 1 by now. So that's why I decided to focus on paper 2 today. So for those of you that are still writing paper 1, my apologies, but I thought it would be better to do some paper 2 work since we hadn't quite got there yet. All right, so normally your first question in maths paper 2 is a question on statistics. And this is a question that everybody is supposed to answer. Now, I know some of you said that you hadn't done statistics this year, but there are still some questions that you should be able to answer. All right, so the first question asks us, well, let's rather start here. So we can see a line graph, and it shows us the test marks out of 10 obtained by a grade 10 class, right? So when we have a look at it, we can see here is our broken line graph. And if we have a look on the left, this is our frequency on the y-axis, and the marks that they got out of 10 is on the x-axis. So the first thing that they've asked us to do is to complete the frequency column in the answer book provided. Okay, so now you guys obviously wouldn't have access to that, but I went and I chopped it out and I copied it and I stuck it over here. All right. So frequency means how many times you observe a particular thing. So how many times do we see somebody got 0 for the test?
Sorry, ma'am, may I come again?
Sure, David. What I'm asking is what is the frequency for getting 0 for the test? How many people got 0?
3.
Where'd you get 3 from, David?
Oh, sorry, ma'am.
Where'd you get 3 from, Harry? Exactly, 0. Okay, quite right. Okay, Harry also 0. There are 0 people. Sorry, I filled in this earlier. I don't know if it's too much to put onto the screen. Yes, there are 0 people that got 0 for the test. Okay, so now if we look, how many people got 1?
3.
3 people, indeed. Okay, sorry, there are my answers. They're sort of sliding off. Okay, and then how many people got 2 for the test? There were 4 people. How many people got 3 for the test? There were 5. How many people got 4 for the test? There were 3. How many people got 5? There were 6. How many people got 6? No one. 0 people. How many people got 7? There were 7 people. How many people got 8? There were 9. How many people got 9? There were 5. Is there anyone that got 10 out of 10 or full marks for the test? No. Okay, so that's how we would read that information. So in terms of question 1.1, where they asked us to fill out the frequency table, that's what we would have had. All right, so it would have looked like that. That grade 10s was out of 2 marks. Okay, so that's not supposed to be something that's particularly difficult. The next thing that they ask us is how many learners wrote the test? How do you think we would calculate that? How would we know how many people wrote the test? What would we add together? Okay, good, Namusa. Where did you get 42 from? Add the frequency table together. Exactly. Okay, so you're going to add all the frequencies together, and that's going to come to 42. So quite right, there were 42 learners that wrote the test in total. Okay, the next thing that we also should know from grade 8 or grade 9, what is the range of the data? So the range means the biggest value minus the smallest value. So in this case, the range is, can anyone tell me?
There.
Yes, David.
Nothing, ma'am.
Oh, I thought you wanted to answer the question. Okay, yes, Namusa is on the right track. So 9 is the biggest value observed, Namusa. What's the smallest value observed? 9 is the biggest. No, because remember, 0 people got 0, Nolwazi. So the smallest value that was obtained for the test was 1. No, that's its frequency. Okay, that's how many times people got 1. Okay, 3 people got 1. All right, but the range of the test is 8. People's marks ranged. Does that make sense, Jared, Namusa? Yes? Okay, so the marks obtained for the test range from 9 to 1. Okay, good. Okay, next question, and I think this is more sort of a grade 10 question. How would we calculate the mean, bearing in mind that this data is grouped? How are we going to calculate a mean for this? Anybody know?
We're going to add the frequency together and we're going to divide it by 10.
Okay, but before you add the frequency together, what do you need to do? You've got to multiply the mark obtained by the frequency, and then it's these things that you need to add together. So you've got to multiply these 2 columns together. All right, because remember, there are 3 people that got 1. There are 4 people that got 2. There are 5 people that got 3. And then once you've multiplied all of those together, then you've got to divide your answer by 42. All right, does that make sense to everybody? Okay, so in other words, what we would be doing on our calculators is we're going to be doing 1 times 3 plus 2 times 4 plus 3 times 5 plus 4 times 3 plus 5 times 6 plus 6 times 0 plus 7 times 7 plus 8 times 9 plus 9 times 5 plus 10 times 0. Press equals. Exactly, Namusa. Divide by 42, and then that would give us our answer. Okay, so anyone got an answer for that? Anyone get an answer? On my calculator, I worked out that when I multiplied all those numbers together and then added it up, I ended up on 234. Did anybody else get that? Over 42. Did you guys get that as well?
Ma'am, I'm still calculating.
Oh, sorry. I beg your pardon. I'm sorry. Okay. Cool. Kelebogile, no problem. Sorry, I was rushing you. I beg your pardon. 42. Okay, so is everybody happy with where that comes from? And do we all know that the symbol for the mean is an X with a line across the top? Okay, so we say X bar. All right, so that's the symbol for the mean. Okay, now determining the median, all right, what does the word median mean to us?
The
What do
middle
they ask?
number.
That's right, David. They want us to work out the middlemost number. Yes, now the number that is in the middle is in position what? We've got 42 numbers. So the number that is going to be in the middle is going to be in what position? It's going to be in position 21 and a half. Okay, so it's going to be between number 21 and number 22. That's where the median is going to sit. So Q2 is the symbol for the median. So in other words, we need to identify what the 21st number is, and we need to identify what the 22nd number is. And what we're going to have to do, grade 10s, is add them together and divide by 2 because we've got an even number of pieces of data. Okay, so 1 times 3 means you've got 3 numbers, plus another 8 is 11, plus another 15 is going to put us at 26. All right, so we are looking for the 21st number. So the 21st number is going to be a what? The first 3 numbers are 1s. The next 4 numbers are 2s. The next 5 numbers are 3s. So the next 3 numbers are 4s. Okay, so what I'm working out is that the 21st number, okay, is going to be a 5. And the 22nd number is going to be a 7. So I'm going to have to add those 2 together and divide by 2. So the median in this case is going to be 6. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, so the first 3 numbers are all 1s. The next 4 numbers are all 2s. The next 5 numbers are all 3s. The next 3 numbers are all 4s. The next 6 numbers are all 5s. Okay, so 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 3 plus 6 gets us to the 21st number. So the 21st number sits between the end of 5 out of 10 and 6 out of 10. But because nobody got 6 out of 10, the next number was 7. Okay, so that not too bad. And then the last thing that they want us to do is to draw a box and whisker plot. Okay, so hopefully you guys have heard of a box and whisker plot before. It's that funny looking thing that's drawn over a ruler. It's supposed to look like this. Nawaz, you not heard of a box and whisker plot? Jared also not. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so here's the ruler. Okay, and you have to draw a box and whisker plot over a ruler. In order to draw a box and whisker plot, there are 5 things that you need. Okay, so what you need to have, so let me just move this over so I can get my pen. Okay, so in order to draw a box and whisker plot, you need what we refer to as a 5-number summary. Your 5-number summary consists of 5 numbers: the minimum, the lower quartile, the median, the upper quartile, and the maximum. Are these words you've heard before? Have you heard of the lower quartile? Have you heard of the upper quartile? Okay, so some of you, yes, some of you, no. Okay, this is the median. Okay, so we know that in this case, our minimum, wasn't it 1? And our maximum was 9. Now you can choose whether you want to use a dot or a line. It doesn't really matter. What I'm going to use a line, and I'm going to draw a line directly over 1, and I'm going to draw a line directly over 9. I also want to draw a line over the median. Okay, that was 6 in this case. All right. And now the only thing that remains for me to do is to work out what my lower quartile and upper quartile are going to be. My lower quartile is halfway between the first number and the number that's in the middle. Okay, so it's in the lower quarter, right? So working out Q1 in this case, and Q3, that's what you would have to, that's what they would expect you to be able to do. So in other words, what we've got is, without writing this all out, we've got 3 1s, we've got 4 2s, we've got 5 3s, 1 2 3 4 5. We've got, just do that, 5 3s. We've got 3 4s, 1 2 3. Sorry. Got 3 4s. We have 5 6s. So that gives us 1 2 3 4 5 6. We've got no 6s. We've got 7 7s. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. We have 9 8s. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. And we have 5 9s. All right, so 5 9s. 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so this is what I'm referring to. Okay, so I'm sorry this is sort of a bit the long way around, but anyway, at least it gets you to see what's going on. There's your minimum. Okay, that one over there, and that's why I've drawn this line here. Here is your maximum, that 9 over there, and that's why I've drawn this line over here, over the 9. Okay, remember, as far as your median was concerned, your median lay in between these two numbers. So to get your median, so Q2, we had to add 5 and 7 together and divide it by 2 and get 6. What that means, grade 10s, is that everything to the left of the 5 lies in the lower half. Everything to the right of the 5 lies in the upper half. So how many numbers do I have in the upper and lower halves? All right, if I count them, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I've got 19 numbers. Now that makes life a little bit easier for me because if I've got 19 numbers, I've got an odd number, and it's easier for me to identify which one is in the middle. So if I've got 19 numbers, the middlemost number is going to be in position number 9 with 8 on either side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's the 9th number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, hang on, am I not counting properly? How many 3s were there? Okay, so I have 19 numbers. So the middlemost number is going to be the 10th number, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. Okay, so that number over there. So what you would end up doing is you would put another line over 3. You would have to repeat the same process on this side over here. So just like we had to count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 numbers. So from here, we also need to count to 10 numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The 10th number, that would be Q3. Sorry, Q3. That's Q1. You would put a line over the 8. And then we would draw a box around Q1, Q2, and Q3. And then we join it like that. And that is a box and whisker plot. Here's the box. And then there are the whiskers at the end. Okay, so that's a box. Right. Yeah, you've seen that before. Okay, so that's how that works. Okay, so that's your box and whisker plot. All right, which is something that is quite common in grade 10. I know some of you said that you haven't done statistics, but you definitely will. And I mean, this kind of stuff will get asked in matric as well, or it could be asked in matric as well. So it is worth our while to do it. All right, so let's carry on and go on to the next question, because I want this to obviously be of use to everybody. Let's have a look at question number 2. Okay, so this is a question on analytical geometry. And those of you that have been with us for a while will know that we did a whole section on analytical geometry where we spoke about distance and midpoint and gradient and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so those formulae will be given to you. But obviously, if you've learned them off by heart, it's going to make life a lot easier. So you can, Maya. Normally what happens though at school level is that we don't actually use any formulae to calculate the position. We're supposed to be doing it by counting. But yes, that will work as well. Normally we use that for large sets of data, but normally at school level, the data is simple enough that we would be able to count where our median and our lower quartile and our upper quartile are. Okay. All right. Okay, so the first question here asks us to calculate the length of PQ. So when we see the word length, what formula are they telling us to use? What does the word length mean to us? We have to use what formula? Not gradient. We have to use distance formula. Exactly, Nolwazi. We've got to use distance formula. Okay, so if we sub into the wrong formula, we're not going to get any marks. Okay, because then it means we didn't understand the question at all. Right? So into point one, we're going to sub into distance formula. So the distance of PQ, I don't know if you guys remember what this was. Okay, but it was the difference in the x's squared plus the difference in the y's squared. Okay, so they want us to find the length of PQ, right? So if we start with the x's, I'm going to start here at P, and I'm going to say 1 minus 6 squared plus, go back to P, 0 minus 3 squared. I don't have to do anything else. It's only out of 2 marks, so 1 mark is for subbing in like I have, the other mark is for the answer. So don't waste your time trying to simplify that. Just pop it straight into your calculator and let your calculator work out the answer. What are you guys getting as an answer? It says leave our answer in third form. Anyone else getting root 34? Yep, thanks, Harry. Cool, me too. Okay, so 1 mark for subbing in, 1 mark for the answer. Question 212. The key word in this particular question is the word gradient. Okay, who can remember what gradient formula? Cool, thanks, Christian. Who can remember what gradient formula is?
The change in y divided by the change in x.
That's it, Nolwazi. Okay, so Nozole is saying, let's say 3 minus 0 over, what did you say? Your change in y over change in x. Yes, Namusa, perfect. So Nozole said 3 minus 0 over 6 minus 1. Excellent. I quite agree with you. Okay, and that gives us a gradient of 3 over 5. So that means that for every 3 units we go up, we move 5 units to the right-hand side. And we see that PQ is a line that slopes up to the right. It has a positive gradient, so our answer makes sense. All right, let's go on to the, and again, 1 mark for subbing in, 1 mark for the answer. Okay, now they want the coordinates of t. Now we were naughty. We didn't actually, well, I didn't read this information first. We just kind of got started. So P, Q are the vertices of the triangle such that, oh, now this is important for us. PQ, so that's that side over there, equals side QR, okay, and PQ is perpendicular to QR. T is a point on PQ, or sorry, is the midpoint, okay, of PQ. So in calculating the coordinates of T, what formula are we going to use? Grade 10s?
So David, this is midpoint formula.
Midpoint formula, exactly. Can you remember what midpoint formula looks like?
X2 minus X1 over 2 plus Y2 minus Y1 over 2.
That's it. Okay, nice. See, if you remember, if you learn your formulas grade 10, then it helps just save you. I'm just going to rub this stuff out over here because we've already worked these questions out. It helps save time because then at least you don't have to go backwards and forwards to the formula page. It just helps you to be able to work a little bit quicker. Okay, so this was part of your test. Cool. All right, so in question 2.1.3, we're going to work out the coordinates of t, and just like you told us, David, we're going to add together our x's, so that would be 1 plus 6 over 2, and we're going to add together our y's, so that would be 0 plus 3 over 2, and then that means that the coordinates at t would be 1 plus 6 is 7 over 2, so that would be 7 over 2 here, or we could write it as a fraction or as a common fraction, not as a common fraction, as a mixed number, and then here it would be 3 over 2. I wouldn't even bother, I would just leave it just like that. Okay, and again, grade 10s, a mark for subbing in and a mark for the answer. Okay, so the coordinates at t, we have 7 over 2, and we have 3 over 2. All right, cool. Next question. Calculate. So those first 6 marks everybody should get. Okay, no excuse not to get those. Those are all basic level 1 questions where you're literally just subbing into a formula and working out the answer. Okay, next question. Calculate the area of triangle QTR. QTR. Where's T? Oh, there we go. QTR. All right. So that's this triangle over here. QTR. Just doing it in pink. And what do you know? What sort of triangle? So there you lost, David. Okay, well, hang on a second. How do you work out the area of a triangle, David? There's only one way in grade 10 that you know how to do that. Only one way you work out the area of a triangle.
Is it half base
It is indeed. Well done. Good job. Yes. Yes, Namusa. Yes, Nolwazi. Quite right. It's half base times perpendicular height. Okay, now the perpendicular height is super, super important. Okay, now when we talk about a perpendicular height, grade 10s, it does not matter whether this line over here is the base and this line over here is the perpendicular height. Or this can be the base, and then this line over here is the perpendicular height. The base and the perpendicular height are the two sides that are next to the right angle. That's what's important. Okay, we do not use slant height. So in this case, the slant height or hypotenuse is TR. We do not use the hypotenuse to calculate the area of a triangle. All right, so really what this question is asking us for, all right, is we need to know the length of TQ and we need to know the length of QR, and then we can go ahead and go and substitute into this formula. Okay, so if we want to work out the length of TQ, we already have, we've got the length of PQ, don't it? But hang on a second, what did they tell us over here? That PQ and QR were the same, isn't it? Over here, they told us that PQ and QR are the same. So the fact that we've got PQ over here means, so this will be half TQ times QR. Okay, so we've got this from question 2.1.1. So we only need to work out the length of TQ, which means that we needed to get these coordinates correct in order to be able to do that. Okay, so now again, we're using distance formula. So we're going to work out the distance of line TQ. All right, so we've got 7 over 2 minus 6 squared plus 3 over 2 minus 3 squared. Okay, so what is the length of TQ? I'm also going to work it out. Okay, so I don't know about the rest of you, but I am getting an answer of root 34 over 2. Do you guys get that as well? Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So that means that we're all on the right track here. So now I'm just going to rub this out and write down here. Okay. So when we want to work out the area of triangle, QTR, we are saying half TQ, which is root 34 over 2, times QR, which we know is root 34, conveniently, and we can then work out what the answer is. Okay, so what does that give us? So we've got a half times root 34 over 2 times root 34. What do you guys get as an answer? So you're also getting that. Okay. And even me. Okay, I'm also getting 17 over 2 square units as an answer. Okay, nice, guys. Well done. Next question. They want us to work out the size of theta with reasons. Okay, so the size of, no, Harry, when we want to find the area of a triangle, we've got to use half base times height. Okay, so that's the only way you know how to calculate area in grade 10. Grade 11, you'll learn a new rule, which you'll be able to use, and obviously in grade 11 and grade 12, but you can still use half base times height. But for now, it's only half base times height. It's the only way you'd be able to do it. Okay, Harry? Has to be half base times height. All right. Okay, so now they want us to work out the size of theta. All right. Anyone got any ideas? Well, you know what they're sort of expecting us to do here, what they're expecting us to look at. Anyone got any ideas? Goes back to geometry. Okay, can you see I'm drawing very badly? Doesn't seem to matter how much I practice, I don't get any better. Okay, can you see my yellow triangle? Ooh, there we go. Do you see the yellow triangle, grade 10s? Okay, so in geometry, we say that when one of the sides of the triangle has been extended, it forms an exterior angle. All right, so this 121 degrees is the exterior angle of this triangle. All right, and remember, the exterior angle of a triangle is equal to the sum of the two opposite interior angles. All right, now that's going to become super important to you next year in grade 11. All right, so what they want us to do here is they want us to say this. Sure, Christian. Okay, so theta plus 90 is equal to 121 because of exterior angle of triangle. All right, so we can write now what theta is equal to. All right, so Christian, just in case there are a few other people that also didn't really know what I'm on about, I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna quickly scoot over to the side here. Okay, so when you have a triangle in geometry, okay, a triangle, and you extend one of the sides of the triangle, you create an exterior angle, right? Oh, stuff it. My pen has gone and done this weird thing that it does every now and again, and I just don't know why. Delete. Delete. Thank you. Wrong way. So you extend one of the sides of the triangle, Christian, and you get an exterior angle. Okay, so that's an angle on the outside. Now, they've told us in this case that this angle is equal to 121 degrees. They also told us that that angle over there, we know that that's 90. So in geometry, there is this rule that when we add the two interior opposite angles together, we get the exterior angle. So this is the one that they called theta in this particular question. All right, so that's why I'm saying angle theta plus 90 is equal to 121. Our reason, exterior angle of triangle. And then that means that we can work out how big theta is. In this case, it would be equal to 31 degrees. Okay, does that make sense, everybody? Okay, so that's a real bit of, that's why they call this section analytical geometry, because it's kind of where geometry and algebra sort of really meet one another. Okay. Namusa, yes, you are supposed to know 45, 60, and 30 triangles. Yes, that's trig, though, that you're talking about. In this particular question here, you didn't need trig to work out how big theta was. It's just from geometry. Okay. Drawing funny lines all over the place. Okay, so we said that theta was equal to 31 degrees. Okay, because of exterior angle of triangle. 31 degrees. All right, cool beans. What's the next question, grade 10s? The cool. Yes, is there a question?
Yes, ma'am. For 2.22, where is solving for theta?
I beg your pardon?
For number 2.2, where is solving for theta?
Yes.
Okay, I see.
Yes, that's what we were doing over here, David. Okay, where I said theta plus 90 equals 121. Exterior angle of triangle, therefore theta equals 31. Okay, so when it says the size of theta with reasons, what probably would have happened here, my guess is that there would have been a statement reason mark on this line and then an answer mark on that line. Okay. Shame, Nizole. Was your paper much harder than this? Yes.
How would we know when to use, when solving for theatre, how would we know when to use geometry or trigonometry? Because honestly, when I saw theatre, I thought of trig first.
You know, to be honest with you, you need to look at the mark allocation as well, and that will give you a guide as to how much work was involved in this particular question. If you were going to use trig, I suppose you absolutely could have used trig because you are working in a right angle triangle. But it would have been a little bit of a pain in the backside for you to have to work out the lengths of all of these sides. You see, because the thing is for trig, you would need to know the ratios. You would need to know the lengths of sides. Let's just rub all of these sides off here. Okay, so if you wanted to use trig, you know how long PT is, and you also know how long TQ is, so that's not a problem. But you don't know the length of PS, and you also don't know the length of QS. So in this case, using trig would have been really, really difficult because you've only got the length of the adjacent side. You don't have the opposite or the hypotenuse. So trig wouldn't have been an option in this case. You see, the thing is, it's not possible with the amount of information that you've got at this time, Nizole. If you had the coordinates at S, then I would say yes, but with what you've got, no. Okay, and also you can't, like, so can you see in question 223 they want you to calculate the coordinates of S, so you can't now skip out question 222 and then go and do question 223 and then use your answer from 223 to do 222. Your teachers will know that you've done that. So no, also because it's just 2 marks, it would be the simplest thing. See, this is why learning our theory is so important in maths. Because if you know the theory behind these sorts of things, then you know what to look for. Otherwise, you're not actually sure what the question is asking for. So always try and go with the simplest reason. All right, so use the marks to guide you. Okay, but yeah, in this case, trig wouldn't have been possible. All right, so now they want us to calculate the coordinates at S. All right, so S is the what? It is the x-intercept of line QR. Okay, so we need to work out the gradient of QR, and then we need to work out the y. Yes, y will be equal to 0. That's quite right. Okay, so I'm just going to clear a little bit of space here. I don't know if you guys remember we had done the equation of a straight line when we had done analytical geometry. Just thinking, is there another way that we could do this if we didn't use the... No. can't think of anything else that we could do here. Okay, all right, so let's do it this way. First of all, we need the gradient of line QR. Do we have that? Well, no, we've got the gradient of PQ. Okay, so the gradient of line RQ is change in y, so -2 minus 3 over change in x, 9 minus 6. Okay, so that leaves us with -5 over 9 minus is 3. Oh, you know how else we could have got that? We could have got that because PQ is perpendicular to QR. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, so now subbing into y equals mx plus c. So that's -5 over 3x plus c. Now we need to sub in a point. So either we can sub in Q or we can sub in R. I think it's easier just to sub in positive numbers. So y is equal to 3 when x is equal to 6. And now we can work out the value of c. Let's just move all of this up. Okay, so c is going to be equal to do you guys get 13 as your answer for C? Because here, -5 times 6 is -30 over 3 is -10. Add 10 here, add 10 here. So C has to be equal to 13. Okay, so this is the line y equals -5 over 3x plus 13. And then just as you had said here, Ms. Ole, you know that y is equal to 0. Quite right. Now we're going to make y equal to 0 equals -5 over 3x plus 13. We're going to take the 13 over to the other side. It's going to become -13 equals -5 over 3x. And now we're going to have to, sorry, I'm just moving that down, solve for x. So I think the easiest thing for us to do in this case is for us to multiply both sides of our equation by -3 over 5 times by -3 over 5. Then that can cancel with that can cancel with that. A negative times a negative is a positive. And 3 times 13 is 39. Divided by 5 will be 39 over 5. Okay, what a strange coordinate, but anyway. Okay, so the coordinate at S is going to be 39 over 5 and 0. Okay, you've all gone super quiet now. Nolwazi, to be honest with you, if you divide both sides by -5 over 3, it's going to give you exactly the same answer. Okay, so what I'm saying is this, Nolwazi, if you've got an equation like this, like say you've got 2x is equal to 8, all right? So you're saying shouldn't we use division? So yes, we can divide both sides by 2, but if I multiply both sides by 1 over 2, I'm still going to get the same answer. Okay, because I'm multiplying by the reciprocal. Okay, so I will get the same answer. Okay, oh good. All right. That was a difficult question, wasn't it? How many marks is that out of 3? Okay. All right. So we're nearly there, grade 10s. Last question in this one, determine with reasons the gradient of the line through T and the midpoint of PR. Only 3. What do you mean, Izole, only 3? You mean only 3 marks for all of that? I know, it seems crazy, doesn't it? Okay, determine with reasons the gradient of the line through T and the midpoint of PR. Okay, so in a way, Nolwazi, that's actually a good thing, because then at least if you can't do the question, you don't end up losing too many marks. So maybe it's not too bad. All right, so now they want us to find the gradient of the line that goes through T. Yeah, I would have also thought so, Christian. And the midpoint. Okay, so let's just call this M. It's the midpoint of this line. We know what the coordinates at T are. The coordinates at T were what? 7/2 and 3/2, if memory serves me correctly. Let's just have a look up at the top here. Yeah, 7/2 and 3/2. Okay, so now we need to work out the midpoint of line PR. So again, we're going to use midpoint formula for that. Okay, so the coordinates at M, the midpoint. Already answered a question like this. Okay, is going to be, let's add the x's. So 1 plus 9/2. Let's add the y's. So that's 0 plus -2, which should be -2/2. So that gives us the coordinates at M. That's 10/2, which is 5. And here -2/2 is -1. Does that make sense to us? Well, it appears that point M is located in the 4th quadrant, where X would be positive and Y would be negative. So that does make sense. Okay, and now finally, the gradient of line TM. Okay, so the change in X, sorry, talking absolute nonsense, the change in Y over the change in X. All right, so I'm going to go -1 minus 3/2. Back here, 5 minus 7/2. What do you guys get as an answer? Let's have a look. What are you getting as an answer, guys? I get -5/3. Yeah, me too, Namusa. Okay. Sure, good stuff. Can't believe it. We are out of time. These just go by so very, very quickly. So on Thursday, I'll carry on with paper 2 work, but I don't know if all of you are going to be here or not, or if you would continue to come back, even if you've written. I mean, obviously, you know, we'll carry on working, but it's up to you or your parents, I suppose, to decide whether you should be here or not. Would still help you for next year. You'll still be here. So even if you've written exams, you'll still be here. So you still got to write both. Okay, Jared, no problem. Okay, anybody else that will still be here, even if they've written both exams? I mean, maybe what you could do. Okay, Carol, that's cool. If you've got, I don't know if your teachers, nice. Nizole, I'm already here. Cool, Harry. Cool, Nolwazi. Okay, well then we'll carry on. We'll continue with our Me. Thanks, Kelebogile. Nice, Lesejo. Maybe what you guys can do, I don't know if you're allowed to keep your exam papers, but, if you've got questions from your exam papers that you weren't able to do, you could always take a screenshot of it and then email it to me. I'll just tell you again, my email is lee@watobe.com. Yeah, you can ask, Namusa. But if there's any questions that you see that you want to go through, then let me know. Anyway, I've talked enough. Let me hand you back to Tula. Well done, everybody. You guys have done great.
Hi, great tens. No, that's actually what I was going to ask as well. So this is perfect. I'm just curious on, I know a lot of you have indicated that you'll still be here next week. Are you saying that you'll still be needing to write your exams? So you'll be here, or are you saying that you will be done with your exams, but you'll still attend the classes anyways? I'm just curious to know which one is it between those two. Are you guys still going to be writing your exams the next week? By the end of next week, will you still have maths exams? Okay. Okay, no, that's good then. Then I'm more confident.
Okay.
Yeah, then there's high chances that
Nzoli says she's already finished both papers and she's still here. Well done.
Yeah,
Nzoli.
enjoy it. So
yeah,
huge commitment. Yeah.
Yes, massive commitment.
Cool.
Wow.
Well, Nzoli is actually already finished.
Yeah.
Wow.
I must say I'm super impressed, guys, because most teenagers would have been like, you know what, I'm finished now and I'm done and it's all over. So, but that's fine. We'll do a mixture of paper 1 and paper 2 work, and if you can also just sort of give me some guidance, it's just sort of areas that you feel that you really need extra assistance with, then I can prepare stuff for you on that. Okay, so yeah, just think about it and tell me. Namusa meetings.
Namusa has results already. Wow.
Oh wow, are you prepared to share them with us, Namusa? Okay, well, after we've written, it'll be cool if we can share our results. Yeah. I don't know if you guys are up for that, but I'd obviously like to know what you've got, and if more importantly, whether you feel that Watobe has made a difference and you've seen an improvement. So that's really what we're hoping for.
Yeah, and always remember that you really are your own competition. So if previously you got 30 and now you got 50, that's good for you. That's improvement in your side. That you don't need to get a distinction for your marks to be good. So it's competition against your own self. So you always just need to keep that in mind so you don't.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, we'll see you guys on Thursday. I think that's it. Side. If Miss Franklin has nothing else to add.
No, that's
it. Okay.
That's perfect. Okay. Bye, everybody. We'll see you on Thursday.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Tula. Bye.
Good luck to those who are writing.
Yes, good luck to those of you who are writing.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I think that's everyone.
That is everybody. Wow, I'm so impressed, Tula. I genuinely did not think that there would be a teenager on this planet that would come back and do maths lessons after that.
Right?
I really am. Like,
I was even having trust issues because the reason I asked how many will actually be done with exams. I was asking because I see them saying, yeah, we'll be back, even when we're done. But you always plan to do that, but then not come back. But the fact that there are people who are already done and they're here. It's the proof that they are actually that committed. Yeah.
Wow. No, that really is quite something. So, I think then obviously, what we're doing must be working, right?